If the first game breaks, we'll get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win. Press you again, here for the first May. Can everybody give them 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Unbelievable place. Great university. Knoxville's unbelievable city. Great people. The passion for football is even greater than I thought it would be. And man, Neyland Stadium, I said it, a couple of years ago, and I still think it's the best football experience for a college football fan or a player in the country.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
I've said it from when I got here. The expectation, the standard is to play elite defense here, not just good defense. This is the home of Eric Berry, Al Wilson, Reggie White. The standard is to be elite.
Just look around. You got the mountains. You got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. The old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, joined by Coach Jay, Coach Rice. The Nico era is officially underway. Tennessee went out. They took care of business. They did what they were supposed to do. How about this Tennessee defense? And I don't care. You can talk about how bad Iowa's offense is. You can talk about them being terrible. All you can do is what you can do, and you went out and you blanked them. You took care of business. What'd they say? Iowa crossed midfield, I think, twice the entire afternoon. Tennessee did what Tennessee was supposed to do. I love the saying. We say it all the time. We steal it from Coach Hype. It ain't got to be perfect. It ain't going to be perfect. Just go out, compete, execute for 60 minutes, and the rest will take care of itself. Coach Jay, opening thoughts on Tennessee. By the way, 35-0 win. Scored more than Michigan, scored more than Penn State, and they blanked Iowa. Opening thoughts.
Yeah, as you all know, I was kicking a little bit of a fit about Ramel losing that one ball. It truly should have been a 42-0 game. That ball was an absolute dime. We'll give Ramel the benefit of the doubt. I think he just lost it in the sun. I don't know what y'all think, but either way, that pass was perfectly placed, and it was about the only time that Iowa came up, and it was the one time he was going to make him pay for it. But look, this was really close to being a 5-touchdown performance by Nico, 3 on the ground, 1 in the air, and the biggest overall difference to me, guys, Nico 100% in the red zone.
Yeah.
What was Joe Milton 100% in the red zone this year? Never, not once. I don't even know if he broke 50 at any point. So I'll take that all day, and we'll get into it in depth here in a minute.
Coach Rice, opening thoughts.
Man, great win. All together, all three phases. Played good ball. I mean, I still think they played, kept the game plan simple, which I expected them to. I thought, and Nico did with what he, was given. We had a couple drops, but other than that, like Coach Jay said, that deep ball was perfection. And then that ball down the sideline, which I'll give Ramel, he made up for. He made that tough catch along the sideline. So, and that's what I think is going to be the biggest special thing about Nico is his, out of the pocket, creating plays type. And that was one of them. He went up in the pocket, went to the right, and put a dime to where only Ramel could make the catch and made the play. So, and then, hey, we all knew James Pierce was a dog, so we ain't gonna. That's just something we already knew. So.
Yeah, I was laughing on Twitter. I put it out there. Who had Nico with 3 rushing touchdowns on the bingo card? Then James Pierce gets the pick 6, and I'm like, well, I wasted that tweet. That's when I should have used that tweet. Who had James Pierce with the pick 6? I love it. Coming off of the Jamal Wallace film breakdown, and Coach Jay asking him, you going to do anything? They're going to drop you back in coverage, show off your athleticism? He says, nope, I'm just going to put my hand in the dirt. James Pierce says, Coach Jay, hold my beer. I'm going to show you how to go out here and make a play. And then the speed. And then I'm laughing because he's going down the sideline looking like Dion got it in one hand. And I'm like, I bet Coach Jay is pissed. I bet Coach Rice is pissed. And then I pop into the Talkin VAWLS postgame chat, and I see Coach Jay pissed about him running down the sideline with that ball palmed in one hand. But let's see what you guys are up to. We got 600 people watching live right now. Help us out. Smash the thumbs up. We would appreciate that. It's quick, free, and easy. Hit that share button. Put this thing on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you get social with your media. Get a refill like Coach Jay is right now. I figured him out by now. He's getting that Heineken over there. He's going to crack the top, going to pour one out. We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate Tennessee's 9th win of the season. Look, I know a lot of people probably getting ready to watch the college football playoff. So am I. Put that on the TV. Put Talkin VAWLS on your cell phone, and let's talk about it. Let's see what you guys are up to. See what you guys are talking about. Gabriel Ryan became a member of the channel during the game. Shout out, Gabriel. Appreciate that. I say it all the time around this time of year. Help us out. Get those memberships in. Hit that join button down below. It's $1. We would appreciate the support, but also going into the offseason. This channel only thrives during the season because you guys support it during the off season. So thank you, Gabriel, for that support. We appreciate it. Mark Wilson's been a member for 31 months. Says now we can focus on 2024. Kelly Thompson for 5 says so much for that top 5 defense. I woke up pissed this morning seeing so many so-called sports analysts taking points with Iowa. The Nico era is here. Pie Man for 5. Nico made some freshman mistakes, but he is nowhere near his peak. His ceiling is high, ready for 24. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Look, Nico didn't play perfect. We knew he wasn't going to play perfect going into it, right? Made some mistakes. Also, you got some other factors that are going into that we'll get into as well. VFL Willie for 5. Says Nico cometh. Any news on Laycock not being in pads? James Pierce will be a top 10 pick as well. Shout out Turntine. Damn good game. He did play well, and that excites me about the future. If Turntine's going to be starting at safety, do you guys know anything about Laycock? Now he's a name that I've seen thrown around as a potential entry into the portal. Now whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't think he was hurt, was he? Either one of you guys know anything about that?
I haven't heard anything, but if his name was to go into the portal, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, he was said to be this, freshman that was going to come in and maybe, push a little bit. And from what I've overheard is that he's had some drop issues in practice. So
yeah, the thing was, go ahead. Sorry, Russ.
No, I was just like, if Brew comes back, you bring Brazil in through the portal. You got Webb and Nimrod back. Got Squirrel White back. You got Staley and Mike Matthews coming. I think we say it all the time. Hey, we need game changers. We need elite playmakers. If he don't want to compete and try to be that, good luck to you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So to me, the Lake Hawk, it's like He's got all the skills. He's a burner. He's a big kid. To me, it was more of his route running coming out of high school. I didn't know if he would put that part of it together. We'll see if he does. He still could, and I'm not saying he's a for sure in the transfer portal, but as y'all are seeing, our wide receiver room is freaking cutthroat, man, and it's about to get even more cutthroat. So if he doesn't pan through, so be it. But a kid that has a lot of talent. And if we could get him to stick around and get him coached up, he could still be a kid that can greatly affect this team. So we'll see how it ends up going for Nathan.
Yeah, I thought, man, Nimrod, I thought Webb, I thought they have gotten better as the season has progressed. And something, you hear Volquest talking all the time about you got to play the young guys, you got to play the young guys, you got to play the young guys. We talk on here all the time. What's the rotation going to look like next year at wide receiver? Are they going to keep playing 3 guys, or are they actually going to go down and play 5, 6 guys? I don't know, but because you were kind of forced into playing Webb and Nimrod, you've seen those guys come along. I can't remember, there was a quick screen to Squirrel. I think it was Nimrod out there just being physical and violent, blocking on the perimeter. I love to see it. Let me catch up with you guys some more. DJ for 20 says Coach J must be proud. Nico showed out. I think we're all proud. I think we're all excited. I think we all see a little glimmer of hope. I think we see who he is. He kind of confirmed. And again, there's some questions we're going to talk about coming up in just a second. Will Murley for 2, playoff lock next year, 2025 Natty. Zach V, been a member for 2 months, says it's Nico time in Tennessee. Seth Tunnel for 20. $20 is not cheap. I appreciate you guys dropping those orange boys. Says the Nico era has finally begun. Where you at, Coach J? Preach. Hashtag not the time to be humble. GBO dropping those orange emojis. I tweeted out in the first half, I said, I'm going to overreact so much to this. So much to this. Vols Girl for 20. Is it September yet? Colt of 8. GBO. Now's the time. I'm glad Vols Girl said that. Now's the time to go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS and get that Cultivate shirt until it gets taken down. But hey, all it is the Colt of V8. That's it. You can't take that down. If you also like Nico, I don't know, maybe the two go together. Shout out Vols Girl for the $20 super chat. Ricky D for 5. Thanks for the 6.5 lock, Coach J. Don't take gambling advice. This is not a gambling website. We don't condone gambling. Java School Blues for 2. Did Pat and Kirk really pick Iowa? I love it. GBO. I think everybody did except for Corso, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Joel for 10. Question for Coach. As a D coach, how happy are you with the tackling from the young guys compared to the starters through the season? Got to be excited about the future for this team. GBO. Dude, John Slaughter come flying in there late. Speed and athleticism is what we saw. And I want you to answer this question, Coach, but something that was driving me nuts, the announcers. I think you got to take a shot at Ricky Gibson. You got to take a shot downfield. Maybe Ricky Gibson was holding up his end of the deal. Maybe that's why they're not taking shots at Ricky Gibson.
Yeah, I it's in my notes here, Boogie. I was getting ready to get into it. I think I even told the chat that was in there during the game. There's a reason they're not taking a shot at Ricky Gibson. He was on that dude like a chicken on a June bug. There was no give there. So I don't know what they want to take a shot at. Maybe an interception, but Gibson was money today, guys. Absolute money. It was a joy to watch him over there on that side.
As far as
tackling, sorry, really quick. I'm okay with the way they tackled. To me, it's a little bit of an over pursuit problem still.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting a little too deep before their breakdown. But sorry, Coach Rice, go ahead.
No, I mean that's kind of what I was going to get on. But dude, I just love the overall play calling that Tim Banks took in this game. I wish he'd do that more. This is the most we've seen him blitz all year in this game, and I part of it. I can't really explain why he chose today to do tons of. I mean, he's always a blitz guy, but we saw so many variants of different. We saw a lot coming from the slot today. Jordan Thomas and the safeties blitzing a lot, as well as the linebackers. So I just hope he keeps that game plan and strategy and trusting those. You know why he did it? Because he trusted that our DBs could hold up against the Iowa receivers. He wasn't scared of the Iowa receivers getting behind Gabe Giulali and Ricky Gibson. So, hey, keep that up. Trust those DBs on the edge. On the outside. and let James Pierce and company eat.
You think it's a combination of that? It's a combination of trusting the guys that were out there. It's a combination of Iowa's offense. Look, they're terrible. But it's like I said at the top of the show. Yeah, they're terrible, and guess what? Tennessee held them to 0 points. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. I want to throw a fun question out here to you guys. What player or players, obviously Nico's the number one on the list, guys that didn't really contribute in 2023 that we're probably going to have to lean on in 2024 that excited you in this bowl game against Iowa? I think a guy that stood out for me was Tyree West. He played a good football game, and everybody's questioning, why are we not dropping the bag on Tyler Barron? Well, maybe because Tyree West was behind him, and we saw what he can be. We saw who he's going to be. He got after. What did he end up with? I think he had a couple of sacks. I know he had a couple of pressures. He played a great game. Him and Turrentine are probably the two for me. The big pick down in the end zone early in the game, that kind of set the tone for the defense. But those are my two guys. Coach Jay, who do you think for 2024?
Yeah, I mean, West, I'm still going to go right back to Arian Carter, man. I think he's going to be flying around next year. I know we didn't see him today, but West and Gibson are two for me that certainly are going to be really, really good next year.
Yeah, I like those choices: West, Gibson, Arian Carter. You know who I liked today? He was flying around, Jordan Thomas. I mean, I know we've talked about Boo Carter being that star. Hey, they've talked about it, and we talked about it early in the season, before the season started, saying Jordan Thomas was a guy that showed elite athleticism and speed in the back end during fall camp. And, you know, we're starting to see. I always thought that, no offense to Tamarian McDonald, but I always thought he was just a little slow. I mean, he was physical and, you know, could tackle pretty good, but we just needed to be faster and more athletic back there. And I think Jordan Thomas is another one of those guys that's going to bring it for us next year.
That's the exciting thing, man, about the turnover in the secondary. Because it goes back to what you just said, Coach Rice, about Tim Banks' defense. We said it before this game ever took place. That's when Tim Banks' defense is truly shining. We're going into year 4. The guys that were in the secondary weren't cutting it. A lot of those guys were asked to move on, and now we're going to replace a lot of those guys and see if we can run this Tim Banks defense the way it's supposed to be run. And if it doesn't work out, then maybe you start looking at making changes in 2024. We're about to hit 1,000 people watching live. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this post-game show. Make sure you do smash the thumbs up. Hit that share button. Let's break 1,000. We're around 985, 990, somewhere around in there. Share it out, man. Let's break 1,000 today. Let's see. There was Joel's question. We got to that. AGR, been a member for 14 months. Appreciate that. Support Jay Strength becomes a member of the channel. Guys, if you're a member, you get access to fan call-in shows, custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. We do a watch party once a month during the offseason. We may watch a basketball game. We're probably going to watch the college football playoffs, national championship. We'll do all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to keep the fan call-in shows going. When we have something to cover, when we have something to talk about, whether it's portal, whether it's recruiting, whatever the case may be, we're going to open it up, make sure you guys continue to have a voice during the offseason. So shout out Jay Strength. We appreciate that support, brother. Parker Townsend for 10. How many games we win with a performance like that? 10 or 11? 10 to 11 is the floor if we play like that. I think it's an interesting question because what do you believe? Do you believe Iowa's defense is truly top 5, or do you believe that they didn't play anybody and they're not as good as everybody thinks? If you believe that's a top 5 defense, and look, Tennessee played complimentary football, right? The sack fumble down there on the 2. You made it easy. So that's a tough question. I don't think we saw anywhere near Nico's potential. You had technically 3 of your starting offensive linemen out. That was a huge problem we'll get into in just a minute. But I don't see any reason why this team can't go win 10, 11 games, depending on how the portal plays out over the next couple of months. Brady for 5 says with the amount of starters out, we did well for Nico's first career start. GBO, I agree with that 100%, Brady. James Bradford for 5, never understood the unsportsmanlike take for people letting walk-ons who will never have this chance again run like a third of the offense. I would have loved Gaston Moore to get a touchdown. That would have been amazing, man. That's something that he's going to be able to tell his kids, his grandkids. Like, that would have been awesome, man. I threw a touchdown in the Citrus Bowl because we blew out Iowa 35-0. Get over it. Get over yourselves. Kid for 5 might because of Iowa's defense, but Nico seemed a little scared to push the ball downfield. What do y'all think?
He wasn't scared. It's just they were playing cover 3, cover 4 shell. And not letting it like that, and that's why they led the country. I don't know if you heard them throw that stat out this year. They led the country in the least amount of explosive plays through the pass game, and that's why they play cover 3, cover 4 shell. Don't let nothing behind them, and they make you grind it out and go the whole field, and that's what we did. And Nico played safe, and that's what you want out of a true freshman, not turning the ball over and letting us just run the ball down the field. Him taking the access throws that they give him.
Let's see here. Scotty Hurley for $20.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, you're good.
Oh, were you talking? Do you want to say
Yeah,
something?
he was talking.
No. I was just saying I agree with everything Coach Rice just said. It was just the style of game that was being played, and look, even on those deep presses plays, where he possibly could have maybe forced something downfield or taken another chance downfield. A lot of those plays were plays that the tackle just got flat out beat, and he had less than 3 seconds to get rid of the ball. Listen, you guys, you just witnessed the first Tennessee freshman quarterback to never throw a pick during his first bowl game. Peyton Manning can't say that. Casey Clausen can't say that. Tyler Bray can't say that. None of them can say it. So a very neat, precise game against whether they're a top 5 defense or not. Let's call it a top 25 defense, no matter what. And, played a great game with only 2 starters on the offensive line.
Let me catch up on Super Chats, and let's bring the conversation back to Nico, the offense, the offensive line. Scotty Hurley for $20. That is not cheap. We appreciate that. My friend says there is no off-season. Keep your membership active. Expect Laycock to hit the portal or another wide receiver. If it means we keep Brewer, bring in Stewart, going to be electric. On defense, we look more athletic. No ceiling boys. I love that Super Chat. I love everything about that, Scotty. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Charles for 20 says this was what we needed to see, and Nico proved himself. I agree with that 100%. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited. Nico didn't play anywhere near perfect, but he showed you why he's going to be so special. And I think this fan base is excited. And part of me wants to throw a little asterisk out here and say maybe we should have defended Joe a little bit more than we did, because some of the things that we saw Nico deal with today, dropped passes, the Ramel Keaton play, the offensive line struggles. Joe also dealt with that. But you know what the difference is? I know Nico. I don't. What's the number? How many sacks did Nico take today? He took a lot. He got dropped a lot today. But how many times did he escape when Joe would have got sacked, right? I think that's the difference. In this game, I think if Joe starts, if Joe plays, this game plays out a whole lot differently. Coach Jay mentioned, 100% in the red zone, the ability to escape the pocket, 3 rushing touchdowns. Joe Milton's not scoring 3 rushing touchdowns in this game.
No, and you know what? The other thing I kind of noticed, and stop me if I'm wrong, maybe I'll correct me, but it seemed like, and he did have some negative yard sacks, but it seemed to me like Nico kind of had an uncanny ability to either kind of pick up that 1 yard gain, 2 yard gain, or get back to the line of scrimmage when he was in trouble too. When I felt like Joe would either take a sack or God forbid, fumble the football. Nico did have that one, a little bit of a drop, got a little guilty of trying to read his one read a little too early before the ball got to him. And those are those freshman mistakes we're talking about, right? Nico, pick up the ball before you read your first receiver. I appreciate that you're going through your progression so quickly, but let's make sure we get that snap before we go through our progression.
I think he was just trying to get the ball out to the swing route. I think it was called, I'm pretty sure those are just called swing screen, and he was just trying to get the ball and get it out to Squirrel, who was going around on the push motion. But well, the thing I would say about Nico is his protecting the ball, not turning the ball over, even when he did get sacked. His composure, that was my biggest. They said it on the telecast, but just did not look like a true freshman. And the whole time he did not he was composed, let the game come to him. It's not, he wasn't, out there trying to make a play that wasn't there. And so that's one very big positive. And then secondly, you just got to think about it. We've already talked about it. We were missing 3 starting offensive linemen. We were even though Dylan Sampson, Kev's out are going to be great, we're down our top 2 tailbacks that as far as pass protection goes. And we talked about that Wednesday, the pass protection from the running backs. That's something Dylan Sampson and Kev Sutton are going to have to improve at this offseason. We saw it get exposed a little bit during the game. Of course, there was a couple times that it wasn't Dylan Sampson's fault. It was the O-line didn't shift the right way. They didn't make the right line shift towards the pressure. So and that's another thing we get to. It's all 11 guys on one play doing what they're supposed to do. And a couple times there, and like you said, Boogie, it's what we've seen Joe deal with all year. And so I think that's another reason why they kept it simplistic for Nico. Yes, he went out and made some plays. That's what we wanted to see. We saw that glimpse of, hey, this dude's going to be special. But at the same time, yes, he's a freshman. They kind of limited what we did as far as playbook goes. But, hey, expect come August 31st next year or August 30th, whatever day your opening game is, he's going to shred it.
You got what, three games to get geared up before you go play Oklahoma on the road? Man, yeah. I'm excited, and one of the things as I'm watching the game play out, and I'm thinking about the offensive linemen, not only offensive line, your tackles, man, your tackles. We talked about all the time about what Spire Sports Group says you spend money on. Quarterback, guys that get after the quarterback, and your tackles that protect the quarterback. Both your tackles are out, and that's a huge problem. The broadcast team kept talking about how Nico, sometimes you got to just understand there's nothing there and get rid of the ball. And I agree with that, and I'm balancing it going, man, sometimes you just got to get rid of the ball. And then I'm watching Nico and going, throw it away. And then he spins out. He goes and he makes something happen. He's out there playing backyard football, boys. And that's something we saw in the orange and white game when he spun out, rolled out, and he hit Ethan Davis down the sideline. Coach Rice, you mentioned the play to Ramel Keaton. What makes you say get rid of the football? Also, it's like the kid that shoots a three from 10 feet behind the three-point line. You're like, no, and it goes in. You're like, great shot. It's that type of deal, man. He's just got that it factor. But something I liked, and Coach Jay's been calling it all year long with Nico, the offense, the first half particularly. I felt like it kind of changed in the second half. It was a little different. You had the lead. You were in cruise control. I felt like they were just running quicker, man. They look smooth. Yep. Everything just looked like it was flowing. Yep. You get to the line, you go. I felt like, man, watching that first half, I'm like, this looks like 2022. There was a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot like 2022.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what, it's just less clunky, right? There was just something about it with Joe back there that it just felt clunky. I mean, there were times where it was smooth, but and I think a lot of that's just kind of demeanor and being smooth and cool and calm and collected and getting able to, pick them up and set them down and get the play in and kind of have a confidence about you and move quickly. Nico's got that very smooth, calm demeanor, a lot like Hendon Hooker, right? I mean, what else didn't we see? We didn't see, a bunch of million slap high fives with a bow and arrow on the back of it. We didn't see a bunch of smiling when there was a mistake made by Nico and goofing off about it, right? It was just even keel all the way, which is what I want out of a quarterback anyway. So I'm here for that, man. It's super exciting, guys. It's going to be a heck of an off season. The future is bright.
We got 1,100 people watching. We are climbing, guys. We are climbing. Keep sharing out that link. Put it on Twitter. Put it on Facebook. Tell Tom over at MySpace. Let him know we're live. Go out and knock on your neighbor's door, man. We missed the goal. I set a goal for 25,000 subscribers. We're around 400 or so away from that. Let's make it happen early in 2024. Word of mouth. Let people know about the Talkin VAWLS Network. Let me do this. Let's set a goal of 1,500 live viewers. We need 1,500. Been a minute since we had 1,500 people watching live. So if you guys share the link, you guys start blasting it on Facebook and Twitter, we'll get to 1,500, and I'll give away – how many Cultivate shirts do you want to give away, Coach Jay? How many Cultivate shirts? I shouldn't have asked him. I should have just said.
Just do two. Just
Two.
do two.
I can live with two. I can live with two. We'll give away 2 Cultivate shirts if we get 1,500 people in the chat. We're about 400 away. So blast this thing out. Put it on Twitter. Let people know. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Parker for 5 says they kept saying, why not pass to the freshman? Well, the freshman had that. S-H-I-T. You don't make me cut. It ain't Tuesday. Let's calm down. Had it on lock. 24 going to be special. Appreciate that, Parker. Old Smoke, you've been a member for 14 months. That's a lot of support. We appreciate it. My friend Nelson's here, man. Nelson. Been a member for a year. This guy spends more time defending me on Twitter than probably my own friends and family. Nelson's got my back. He's ride or die. I told Coach Jay right before we went live, nothing would have made me happier than to see Khalifa Keith break one and put it in the end zone just so I could have to listen to Nelson's mouth. He says, do y'all think Laycock sticks around? I thought we would see him some this season. He didn't play at all. We touched on that a little bit earlier. He's a name that keeps floating around as a guy who could ultimately end up in the portal. Scotty for 2, 5-star channel. Keep the content coming. All-star cast. Thank you, Scotty. Hey, man, I'm just a dude that knows how to yell into a microphone, but I surround myself with people that know the game, and that's the beautiful thing of this community. The tailgate show earlier was awesome. Listening to Joel get on here and talk about, meeting real-life friends through this channel in the comments. You guys hang out and watch the game together. Every Saturday, you guys are in the chat watching the game together like you would go over to a buddy's house. I love it. I'm here for it. This community, second to none, man. There's a lot of pretenders. There's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of people that want to be on YouTube and pretend that they came up with some grand scheme or idea. You can't duplicate it. You can't fake it. This community, you guys made this community organic and authentic. And I put out a tweet and said that we grew this year and we changed. A lot of that change is you guys. You guys drive this ship. I'm grateful for that. Parker for 2 says, shout out the running backs. Did that behind a subpar offensive line. I want to see Cam Selden get north and south a little bit quicker, but, man, I'm excited about his future. Timmy Williams for 5. Nico stared the wide receivers down, but I know he will get better. Go Vols. I didn't see that. I saw him going through progressions. I felt like he was scanning the field better than Joe. That my personal opinion. Agree. One word. Agree, disagree. Coach Jay?
Agree. There's a caveat, though, right?
24
There's
words.
a couple play that were just flat pullouts that you're going to stare down that receiver because of how it's ran. So, yeah.
Coach Rice?
Agree.
He got the rules. Coach Rice understood the rules.
Sorry, I broke the rules.
Evan counts for 2. NC State in trouble.
Yes.
I don't even know what that's in regards to. What
NC State. I'm talking about second game.
Next year. Next year. Yeah, we're fast forwarding to 2024. I'm like, what's NC State doing? Playing somebody in golf or like a bowling match or something? Like, what's going on? Pecan for 20. That ain't cheap. Appreciate the Orange Boy. Says Iowa didn't play anyone, and their defense is overrated. I think we played average against a really bad Iowa team from a really bad Big Ten West. Win is a win. I'll take it. Either way, can't wait till next year. Well, let me ask you this, Pecan. If they're not very good, would you consider Michigan good? They're favored to beat Alabama. They're favored to make it to the national championship game. Would you consider them to be good? They won 26-0 over Iowa. Tennessee won 35-0. And I know it might be apples to oranges. Penn State, 31-0. Tennessee, 35-0. Like, I don't know any other way to spin it because there's no other way we can really have this debate. But I think the numbers speak for themselves. I'll take it. I'm never going to complain about a 35-0 bowl win. David Hall for 20. Do y'all think he is ready? He says, lol, it's Nico time in Tennessee GBO. I think the kid's ready. I think he's ready. Rocky Top Time for 5. Y'all, I'm stoked as all get out over Nico. What could have been 2023? Uh-oh. I can't believe it took this long. Can't believe it took 33 minutes, almost 34 minutes. I'm a bit sour. Oh, yeah. Woo! Right here. Thank you, Tom, for the super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Noah, been a member for 20 months. Excited for next season. Hoping to give Oklahoma a good SEC welcome by knocking them around. GBO. Evan for another 2. Pre-snap penalties were better. Shane C for 10. Is it me or are you concerned about how our D defends against a mobile quarterback? It seems to have been an issue all year. I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Just to me in this game, because you just got caught a little flat-footed when they completely switched their game plan around. But with that said, it has been an issue in the past, and it is something we need to work on. It's just in this specific game, I thought, it was just kind of something that came up sporadically in the game with a backup.
You know something I saw and that I love seeing, a guy that we've hardly ever mentioned on the show is Jalen Smith getting a good amount of run. The linebacker, the forgotten linebacker.
Yeah,
Dude, he got some run out. Dude, he looked good. I mean, I don't know. It's his only run he's had all year, I think, other than maybe one other game against UTSA. But he was flying around out there. It looked like he was in control of what he was doing. So, hey, that linebacker room is stacked, y'all, and it's just going to keep improving.
But you heard so much about those three linebackers, right? Jalen Smith, Jeremiah T. Leonard, Arian Carter. You also heard the same thing about Ricky Gibson, Jordan Matthews, and Christian Conyer. So we're seeing Ricky Gibson come along. I'm interested to see what Jordan Matthews in camp, going through another summer of workouts, and then fall camp. Same thing for Christian Conyer. I think he has the potential to be really, really good. Let's see. Shane C., we hit that one. The ambassador, Trey, drops a 20 spot. We appreciate it. This just in, taking the Colt mission on the road. In 2024 to Norman, infantry troops have already volunteered. 2024 is going to be special. More to come. Special report for the Talkin VAWLS Network. Nico is magic. Shout out Trey, man. Trey printed out a bunch of Talkin VAWLS shirts, hit the street on Neyland Stadium, and just out there word of mouth telling people, you got to check out the Talkin VAWLS Network. That's the place to be. It's for the fans, by the fans. Shout out Trey. We appreciate that, brother. Ron the Don, 14 months supporting this channel. I'm soapboxing right now, GBO. But the announcers get off our back. Georgia scored 63. No one accused them of running it up. Ron the Don says Nico.
Amen, Ron.
Amen. Ron the Don. It's funny how different rules, right? Different rules for different folks. That's the way it works. Timothy McGee for 5. Yeah, we actually went under center. As always, less option routes, more timing routes. That's going to be a T-shirt in 2024. That's right. Go Vols for 2. NC State going to the graveyard. That's right. Go Vols. All right, we're caught up on Super Chats. Appreciate you guys being very generous. Chris, been a member for 3 months. Appreciate that, Chris. Let's talk about that. I liked it, man. I like seeing Tennessee go under center and just run physical smash mouth football with Cam Seldon. And I know I think there was a couple of times he got stubbed, but early in the game, man, 2-3 times, 3rd and 1, you go under center, you run power, and you just hand it off. Just good old NCAA Tuesday night halfback dive right up the middle, and you pick it up. Yeah,
I love it. I mean, I wanted to see that all year, but the key is you think about it. That's Cam Seldon. That's 6'2", 220 versus Dylan Sampson, Jalen Wright, who are not they're explosive and electric, but they're not the same body type as Cam Seldon. And I love it. I think that's great for our short package situation that we've been struggling with all year. I want to see that going into next year, and there's some things you could do off of that, bouncing off of it in the short yardage situations. And dude, I thought Nico was going to go full on paint, which he kind of did, but I thought it was going to be full on naked boot there at first. But
man, he was so patient on that play, though, right?
Well,
like he chilled, waiting to see if a receiver came open. Then it's like, nope, gone. And his speed, man. I know he's athletic, dude. I know that. I've watched all the tape. I've seen all the film. Dude, he is quick. He is so quick.
Smooth.
Yeah. Those strides, he can just make up so much ground so quickly, right? Yeah. Scary stuff, man. Kid can play.
Rusty Thompson gives 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. We appreciate that, brother. That is that ain't cheap. That is very generous. We appreciate it, Rusty. Joey been a member for 32 months. Hendon praising Nico on Twitter is solidification for Nico. I love that tweet, man. I loved it. That was awesome seeing Hendo Cinco show that love, show that support for Nico Iamaliava. Let's see.
Hey,
go ahead.
Hey, our big boy, Big Sham, got in the game in those power packages.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
He pancaked the dude on one of them. I mean, straight bulldoze, dude. And I knew that's what would be his strength. I mean, that's always the offensive lineman's strength, that they'd rather run over somebody other than pass protect. But hey, he road graded that dude. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, one of the most exciting things about this team to me is just these coaches have gotten a lot out of their players, and I fully expect everyone to improve, from the offensive line to Nico to the defense. So, the sky's the limit for this team, guys. I mean, that was a great first game for a young freshman against a good defense.
Yep.
Like we said before the game, was it perfect? No. Did we think it was going to be perfect? No. Right? But a heck of a job. What? Solid B for me. Solid B plus. Keaton ran through that pass. We might have gave him the A, right?
He would have had 200 yards for passing and two passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. you can't beat that on NCAA stream. So.
Yeah, on that deep post early in the game, was that ball catchable? Did Keaton let that go past him? I'd love to see that play again. There was a deep post to Keaton early. It looked like the ball was on time, but I couldn't tell if it was a little overthrown or if it was just missed by Keaton. I guess I'll catch it in the replay.
I may have been downstairs getting my pizza.
Okay, there you go.
Another little wrinkle for me that I liked in the offense was the screen pass. Like they don't utilize that to the running back much at all, and they had it set up perfectly. But nobody chipped the middle linebacker blitzing, and he just at first I thought, man, was there miscommunication? It looked like he thought, I think it was it Sampson that was in there? It looked like he thought Sampson was going to be somewhere else, but on the replay he got absolutely annihilated. I like that little wrinkle, but I think you can look at a box score, you can look at numbers. If I read to you 12 of 19 for 151 yards and a touchdown, you would say that's not good enough. That's not a good performance by your quarterback. But when you sit back and you look at the grand scheme of things and you go back to what Coach Jay said earlier, being 100% in the red zone. Why was he 100% in the red zone? Because you have so many more options when Nico's in there. And it's the same with Hendon. That's why I compare Nico to Hendon so much. Their games, their athleticism, their elusiveness is so similar, and that opens things up. The little bootleg, the play action, right? You lined up, you tried to run it up the gut. Didn't work. So what do? You show the same look, you keep it, you run the play action. It gives you something else. You can't do that with Joe. And Joe can run the football. We saw it. What was it, UTSA, the 85-yard house call? He could run the football. And really with Nico, you didn't see a whole lot. Of designed runs today. And that'll be something, you got to keep Nico healthy in 2024. Yeah. If you're going to have a shot, he's got to stay healthy.
But just go ahead. I was just going to say, playing that umbrella coverage against Tennessee that worked in the red zone, you just can't do that against Nico. He's going to burn you, especially if you're not spying him. He's going to take advantage of you, and eventually they're going to have to spy him with a player, and then when he rolls, he's going to get him out of position and start getting those receivers diving underneath that spy or over that spy. So you're going to have to start picking your poison really soon. I'll take 4 touchdowns out of my QB anytime, and I'll keep going back to the fact that it should have been 5. But
4 touchdowns, no turnovers, and 100% in the red zone. What's more important, that or a sexy stat line?
That. Yeah. Go ahead, though, Coach.
Well, and the one thing I'd say, another wrinkle I saw was they actually called a slip screen for Dylan Sampson, and the old line completely screwed it up. If that play would have worked, and Dylan Sampson would have, maybe have chipped that dude, but the old line picked up they did something wrong there. They picked up the wrong guys, but that slip screen, because they called it at the perfect time. They called it heavy pressure, and if Dylan Sampson would have got out in the open, he may have taken it home. But the one thing I'd say about Nico, you look at his stat line. What was he? 12 and 19.
Yep, 151 and a touchdown.
You got to think about the second half. How much did we actually have the ball in the second half? The numbers were skewed. Yeah. We had a pick 6, and we had a strip fumble at the 2-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the second half, Iowa had the ball, and so that kind of skews the numbers a little bit. And on top of that, guys, it was 28-0. So we're not going to go out there, throw the ball around the yard. They're going Nico did what he was supposed to do, and that's protect the football and not make any dope decisions and just give what's there. Take what's there. So all these people saying, hey, Nico should have done more, Nico should have done this. Guys, you got to realize this. He did exactly what he was asked to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, his game will grow. We know that he's not reached to the peak of his potential. He's between now and spring, he's going to grow. And between now and next fall, he's going to be a completely different quarterback. He's going to know the offense even more, and also he's going to build chemistry with those wide receivers. And I think we got a couple freshmen after what I saw today. No offense to those guys, y'all. I'm real deal thinking Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley's good. After what I saw, we got to get some guys that are going to create some space. And I think those two guys maybe come in and cause some problems for some of these veterans. I mean, wide receivers one position you can come in if you're a playmaker, they're going to find a way to get you on the field. So, I'm all for it.
Going back to running the football, you ran the football for what, 232 yards. You averaged 4.3 yards per carry. Of course, some of that was taken down because of sacks. But 232 yards on the ground against a football team that gave up 102 yards a game on the ground, 13th in the country.
And that adds to, and I know we got the comment about stretching the field a little bit, but if you really look at it, if you do the math, that's like 13.2, 13.5 yards per pass play that Nico had. I think this season, we averaged like 7.6. I think Hendon Hooker averaged like 10.2. So if you're on a click of averaging 13.7, I'll tell you what, you're going to keep defensive coordinators like Coach Jay up at night with averaging that much per pass play. You're going to have to play back on your pads. You're going to have to play cover 3. And when you're playing back on cover 3, back on your pads, you're going to run the ball for over 200 yards in a game. It just creates all kinds of problems. So there's inches within those stats too that need to be bore out over time.
Yeah.
What you guys analyze it? You guys break it down. You're talking about the type of defense. I'll throw this to Coach Rice. He's the offensive coach. You're talking about the defense that Iowa's running. We see a lot of deep comebacks in what Tennessee is doing. You didn't see as many quick screens. What is it that Tennessee's looking for? Does it just go back to Iowa's not going to let you beat them over the top?
Yeah.
So that's what you do is you push downfield and then you come back. And they had a lot of success with that today. A lot of success.
Yeah, and a lot of it, and you saw one of them was a big one. They ran a switch combination with Squirrel White and Chaz Nimrod. Chaz ran what is a post going to the inside. Squirrel runs a wheel going to the outside. Well, if he sees the DB playing deep coverage and playing off of him, he's going to turn that wheel route into a comeback. That's what you call those option routes. I'm sorry, Timothy, but reading the coverage, and that way you're always right. I mean, if you got a QB that's reading the coverage and you got wide receivers that understand what zone or what coverage the defense is playing, that's when you see those comeback routes or deep curls where they're coming back to the quarterback, because that's the way they've played that way all year. They're not a team that's going to come up, play man press. They're going to play, they may play man, but they're going to play cover 3 over the top, making sure no one's going to get behind them. And so anytime you have linebackers playing in the flats, but they're having to, stay close because of the way our spacing is, it leaves those deep outside curl routes. And that's why it's always open. You see, you saw Caleb Webb a couple times, Nimrod, Squirrel on the switch releases. It's why those outside the number routes are open, because Iowa was just, Squirrel White's not going to use that 4-3 and get behind us. They weren't going to let that happen.
Let me catch up on Super Chats real quick. Joel dropped a 5. I ain't reading that, Joel, but I appreciate the donation. I'll leave it on the screen. Y'all can read it. Y'all can break it down. Y'all can analyze it. It ain't Tuesday night, Joel. I ain't reading that. Joel, hey, calm down. Ryan Meadows for 5. Great showing today. It's Nico time in Tennessee. David Hall. and Dylan Robertson. David Hall and Dylan Robertson both become members of the channel. Guys, I keep saying it. Thank you guys so much. I need your support. You like these live streams. You like the post-game shows. You like all the coverage during the football season. Get those memberships renewed, up to date. Keep the support coming throughout the offseason. And I know I've said it, I'll say it again. We got all kinds of fun content coming, man. So much fun content. We're going to get Coach Rice involved in the live film breakdowns. The first one's coming up in January. Guess what? It's going to be a battle for the state of Tennessee. This defensive coach over here, he's got to pick a defensive player, and he's going to give you, 4 or 5 plays of why he thinks that guy on defense should be the number one priority. And guess what? Coach Rice is bringing the offense. He's going to bring 4 or 5 plays for an offensive player in the state of Tennessee that should be a priority. And then you guys in the chat, the community is going to decide. We're going to put a poll up, and you guys are going to vote. Who won? Who won? Is it Coach Jay or is it Coach Rice? But Coach Rice is kind of going to cheat. Coach Jay, you got your hands.
I got
full,
my work
brother.
cut out for me.
That's
a good offensive class he's got. You got some fast bullets in that chamber. No doubt.
Yeah. You got your work cut out for you on this first one, but I'm excited. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
We'll
going to be fun. Charles becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Charles. Appreciate that support, brother. James Fair for 2 says Elijah is still lost in pass coverage. Man, I thought he was playing a good football game, and then they ran a deep crossing route. One misstep, right? That one misstep, and it just sets him up for failure. I thought he played a good game overall. That play looked really bad. He had a couple of plays where he struggled. I don't think he's in the – you think he's in the 2 deep? You guys think he's in the 2 deep next year? Maybe in the 2 deep.
I think he'll be his number 2 weak side linebacker.
Yeah. He ain't going to be the starter. But he'll get some run. So we need him to continue to develop. He's a sophomore. He's got to get better. Got to have better eye discipline, right, Coach Jay?
Yeah. He's got a couple things he can work on, but I think he'll get better at it. I think you even saw some improvement in this game at times. We always focus on that one play that's bad.
Mm.
I'll take a close look for when we have time to talk about this game again. But for the most part, you didn't hear him too much. I think he had 1 or 2 overruns. But for the most part, I thought he looked better tonight in general.
He's a run block. I mean, he's a run stopping linebacker.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah,
he's not one. That's why we got Aaron Carter. That's why we recruited Edwin Spillman. These guys and Jordan Burns, these guys are hybrid. They can do both. But Elijah Herron, he's good at run stopping. I mean, that you see when he makes his read and attacks the gap he's supposed to. He's a good tackler. He's exposed a little bit on speed a little bit, but that's not where you see it as much. You see his speed being exposed in the pass coverage. So.
Eye candy, right? He gets caught up
Yep.
with eye candy. I think I learned that from Coach Jay. Man, if I keep just repeating you guys, maybe one day I'll look smart. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Y'all want to go live on Wednesday? You guys in the chat, look, I'm going to be playing NCAA football tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll talk all about this game. I got the day after video coming bright and early tomorrow morning. Tune in for that. Y'all want to do a Wednesday night, just a regular Wednesday 7 p.m. show? You know, I was talking to Kaner. He felt bad because he didn't get to come on the show because everything got so convoluted. Bennett Warren agreed to come on Wednesday night, and then me, Coach Jay, Coach Rice went live Friday morning, and Kaner's down there. And I was telling my wife, I was like, can you imagine Kaner being like, excuse me, Hubs, I got to go back to the bedroom. I'm gonna go on Talkin VAWLS real quick. I'm like, I'm gonna save him that razzing that he would have got from that. So I don't know. Maybe Kaner jumps on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time for 30 minutes, hangs out with us. We'll see. I don't know what his schedule's like, but I think we'll just do it. I think we'll just go live Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Let me catch up here. Raven Gaming for 5. Dorfy. Nico did good for his first game. Future is bright. 4 touchdowns. Nico had 4 touchdowns. Tennessee won 35-0, and people are acting like they're not satisfied. A very vocal minority. Very vocal minority. Andrew for 2 says, I think Cam Seldon is going to be a first rounder. Ooh, I hope so. He's got that speed and size. Rocky Top Tom for 2 says, just got to say woo right here. I mean, it's only $2, but I'll play it.
To be the man, you got to beat the man, and I'm saying woo right here.
I've been waiting. Well, let me hit this first. Russell Moorfield for 33 months, brother. That is a long time to support this channel. Long time. Says 2024 is going to be dope. Can't wait. I've been waiting on this super chat all night long, and it is finally here. Orange Sea Lion for 5. Says only 150 passing yards. Bench Nico. More QB1, more greater than Nico. Obviously.
This is what a football looks like. This is what a football looks like.
When did you draw that? When that super chat came in?
Yeah. That's exactly what I
Hunter
did.
for 2. Wide receivers were an issue. Need to push for Evan Stewart. Thank you, Hunter, for the $2. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about 2024. Something we talked about just on the tailgate show was the offensive line, right? Coach Jay, you specifically mentioned depth being a concern. We saw why. We saw why this afternoon when Nico was running for his life most of the game. I think you still need depth. This offensive line is going to be pretty good. I think it's huge that Hype got everybody back. If everybody's healthy, everybody's good to go, we're ready to roll. If one or two guys go down, it's a problem. What are your priorities looking in the portal? You got 2-time transfers, right? Who knows what's going to happen over the next month or so? Who knows what's going to happen this spring? What are your priorities, Coach Jay, in the portal? And Orange Sea Line says Navy Schuler, QB1.
Orange Sea Lion's funny. He gets it. He gets it. But my priorities, I think you get as many as weapons as you can with Evan Stewart. Like, look, these wide receivers that we had playing are young, are very young, right? And Ramel Keaton was kind of a guy that came on late, but he's been really spotty and inconsistent and untrustworthy at times, right? That's been the big problem with Ramel Keaton. So really, in my eyes, we really only had one true starter starting in this game. I think that gets fixed next year. Obviously, you're going to have Thornton around. You're going to have Brazil around. You're going to have Mike Matthews around. You're going to have all kinds of talent flying around this wide receiver room. So I'm not really too worried about that. I think the wide receivers are going to get good, and we'll be fine there. I'd like to still find another inside guard. I mean, I know Carrick's coming back, but I think that would create some of that depth you need along the offensive line. And I think we'll get a little depth, too, with just, your Sham Umarovs, your Vyson Langs getting another, year in a weight room and getting time to mature, get that man strength. They're kids right now, right? So let them get a little age on them, and I think you'll be fine. But another guard would be good for me. Maybe another safety, especially if you can get the kid from Georgia, and then Evan Stewart, of course. Give me all the weapons.
Y'all think that's
I know you're trolling me, Orange Sea Lion. It's funny.
All right, what's he saying? Oh, another $5 from
Yeah.
Gary. Obviously trolling Nico looked great. Poise put the team on his back. Gary, that fan call-in show where Gary, there was like 9 of us. There was like 9 of us, and he was the only one going to bat for Joe. And then he DMs me on Twitter after the show. He's like, I was just playing a character, man. It's like, come on. Like, that was a 2-hour stream of Gary going to bat for Joe. And then the DM comes after. I'm like, I respect the grind. I respect the hustle. J-Ball for 243 days until it's football time in Tennessee. Guess what? Tomorrow's football time in Tennessee. We're gonna die. I am so excited. There is so much in-state talent for the class of 25. I'm excited about recruiting. And I think, we've said it multiple times on this channel, 2024 is a big year for Hype. You've got to have success on the field, and you got to have success recruiting. You have to. Coach Rice, I know you're obsessed with every little portal rumor you can find, just like I am. Is Tate Ratledge realistic? I don't think he's going to the portal.
No.
I made the video because it was worth speculating about. I never believed he was going to the portal, but you do need help at guard.
100%. If he did, I mean, that would be massive.
Start day one, left guard start.
Day one left guard, or right guard if he wanted to. We can move Spraggins over left guard.
He could play wide receiver if he wanted to.
Yeah,
whatever he wants.
But inside offensive line must get. I think we got growing depth on the tackles. I mean, if you had some, top 5 draft pick come say, hey, I want to transfer to Tennessee, you ain't going to turn them down. But interior offensive lineman must get – I like Carrick, but at the same time, I think we need to improve at that position. Spraggins is going to give you a baller. I love Spraggins. I love his intensity. You need one of those on the offensive lineman. And then, if Evan Stewart is at least been interested, I tweeted it out. Again, you got to have elite players. And I hate to say it. I thought Coach Heupel's offense, you'd be able to come in and scheme anybody, whoever came. Me and Coach Jay could go out there and play wide receivers, and he'd get us open. But
What you say? Y'all got more speed than I got? What the hell kind of insult is that?
Take the H-back position, Boogie, and just run with it.
I can live with that.
Little wheel route.
No, I'm playing. Yeah, you see what Jalen Hyatt did. You see what Tillman did. Those were elite playmakers. You see them making plays in the NFL. I think we got a couple of Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley coming in. Squirrel's a playmaker, but he's limited. You need those two outside guys. And if Brew comes back, yes, it's great. I think Brazil has that opportunity. He's going to be a freshman or a sophomore coming in to learn a new offense. So there's going to be a process there. We saw what the problem. We thought Thornton was going to come in and be that playmaker. I know Brazil has a little more proof behind him, but hey, he's still got to come in and do his thing. So, and then what's the H-back or tight end position look like? So, my thing is interior offensive line, need one more playmaker and another playmaker on the back end. Those are my main three. If we could get all three, national championship, baby. We got to get all three, though.
Sounds like we're all on board with the 2022 format. Let's go score 50 a game, play good enough the defense, man.
I think it will be good, though.
I think it's going to be better. I think it's going to take I think they could have taken a step in 2023. I just looked at my calendar, and it's 2024. It's weird. Anyway, I think they could have taken a step this year, right? Kamal Hadden stays healthy. If they stayed healthy, I think the defense would have taken another step. You shaved off a touchdown from year 1 to year 2, and then you just kind of stayed even kill for year 3. If they don't take a step in year 4, are y'all on the fire Tim Banks bandwagon? Or does he get year 4 and 5?
I think he gets year 4 and 5. As long as he don't go back.
Yeah,
if he
that's
stays
right.
about where he is, and we score 50 points a game, who cares? If we score 50 points a game, I think the league is going to have, other than Carson Beck, is going to be kind of not as good QB wise next year. I mean, Missouri will still be. That word coming out of my mouth just makes me throw up. But it's just, I think with the guys we got coming back and the guys the other teams have coming back, I think we're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agree. Sorry, I was making Miss J buy some football game tickets for next season.
Hey, that's what
you already know. You already know what your bye week is?
I don't, but I've got word that it's going to be one of 3 weeks. So I think I'm going to buy tickets for all 3 games and sell.
Oh my God.
And sell the other ones.
So what are the 3? What are the 3 options?
The 3 options would be Florida, Bama, or Mississippi State.
Ooh. I'll be up there for the Florida game, I know.
Okay.
You know where I'll be?
Yeah.
Right here with my closest
Right
friends
there.
on the Talkin VAWLS
Yeah,
Network. I'll get to go watch something like a Chattanooga game. I'm making that commitment, man. I'm gonna take my daughter once a year for a small game.
Yeah,
good for you guys. Shout out to you. I couldn't have done that 2 years ago. I was so driven and focused on I cannot ever miss. But the way everybody supports this channel, I think I can take one small game off and go hang out and go watch some football. Be awesome.
Yeah, because I was, as you know, Boogie, possibly moving back to a certain school that I've been wanting to get back to, but it looks like that's going to be about another year away. So
got to go prove yourself one more year.
Yeah, I think I'll be staying put this season, which works out really well. My mom's having her brain surgery at the end of the month, so it kind of works out that I'm not going to be flying around a bunch of different places right away.
Oh man. Bringing us down.
Oh, dude, you know what I thought too that we hadn't brought up? I thought the space, I don't know what it was, but I thought the spacing on the shovel pass looked right again. You know how it looked good in 2022 and then looked bad all year this year? It looked correct. It's just Samson dropped it, but I mean, it
If
was
he
there,
would caught
right,
that,
Coach?
he was taking that 70 yards.
Man,
There was no
he
way.
knew
It
it.
was
He
there.
knew it too. He's like,
Yeah.
he's trying to run before he got it. Oh, man. Let me catch up on Super Chat.
Yep.
Y'all being generous. BFL Willie for 5. Surprised Boogie didn't mention them using I-form. Also saw some forward wide receiver sets. We did. VFL Willie, we did talk about the I-form. I was excited about it. I think it adds a little wrinkle, right? And we saw Tennessee score a touchdown off of that little wrinkle. We also saw him pick up a couple of third down and ones. Will Dyer for $20. That is not cheap. Says Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, fellas. May God bless the Colt. I don't think anybody's ever said that before. May God bless the Colt. That's a shirt.
It's a new one.
That's a shirt.
new one.
May God bless the Colt
new one.
in 2024 with an undefeated national championship. Let's go, Will. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Maverick, NorCal. Is that like Northern California? Is that what you Californians say, NorCal? Isn't that what you say?
Yeah, NorCal.
What if this
That's
is another
correct.
Cali kid? Maybe this could be my new
Yep.
friend from California.
North Cali.
$25. Biggest donation of the night. We appreciate that. Now y'all think the kid is still unknown? It's got to be a California person. Has to. By the way, I believe that all of the scoring was done by the California kids. GBO. We love those kids
yeah.
from California. We love those California
go.
kids.
There you go.
Well, when 4 of the 5 – wait, where's James Pierce from? Is he a California kid?
No.
He was a Florida kid.
Liar.
Yeah.
Liar, Maverick NorCal.
Lie.
That is a lie. All the offensive touchdowns came from California kids.
Yep.
All right, boys. I think we're going to wrap it up. I know everybody wants to go watch this college football playoff, including Coach Rice is already down there yelling. I'm like, what's he yelling about? And I'm like, oh, he's watching. He's watching.
Oh, I wonder if I think I missed the B-2 bomber flying because the path for the Rose Bowl, the jets come
It came-
right
the
over
stealth
my
bomber.
house every year. They come right over my house.
They showed him flying around before the parade was even going on and all that stuff. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. You guys, I love you. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this community. I'm proud of this community. Look, it doesn't come from anywhere. Somebody's got to bust their ass and make things happen. But this show's nothing without you guys. It's nothing without Coach Jay, without Coach Rice, without guys like the X Factor. Shout out to Dauber. Hope he's feeling better. He's battling the old Rona. But we got a cast and crew around here, and I'm grateful for it, man. I'm excited about 2024. Sky's the limit. Let's go get 50,000. Let's go get 50,000 in 2024. Let's make it happen. But we are going to wrap it up tomorrow night. NCAA stream, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Come hang out. We'll talk all things Tennessee football. Day after video dropping early in the morning. Tune in for that. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. It's already happening. We're going to do a 7 o'clock Wednesday show, so come join us. We'll do a recap for the entire season. After the college football playoff is over, after the national championship game, we'll do a Wednesday stream and recap the entire year of college football. Eric Kane from VolQuest said he's going to get AP to come on, hang out, tell some recruiting stories. The guys from GoVols 247, Ben McKee told me, I'll get the Swain event. I will get Jason Swain. He actually didn't say that, but I'm going to make him say that. We'll see if Swain wants to come on. We'll get A to Z Sports on. We'll get everybody that covers Tennessee football to come right here. Why do they do that? They don't all. Do you think VolQuest would welcome GoVols 247? You think they're going to do a stream and welcome Talkin VAWLS and A to Z Sports? No. But we're going to do it right here, and we're going to do it for a good cause. We're going to do it for a charity, for a military charity. So make sure you guys come tune in for that. Save up your super chats and get them dialed in and ready to donate to the Fisher House Foundation. They do great work. That's going to be coming up later in January, so tune in for that. We are going to get out the door. We did not, Robert Tuck. We did not reach 1,500. No free shirts for anybody. Nobody's getting a free shirt. But you can go pay for one at bonfire.com/store/talkingballs. We out the door. For Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
The